Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the delay. This is my 1 o'clock weekly live stream. Here it is, 1:10. Ran into some technical difficulties I had to work through. So, uh, thank you for joining me. Those of you that are watching live, and anybody that's catching this after the fact, I appreciate you taking the time for this. So this is our weekly iTNet tech update. We do these every Friday. I should say almost every Friday at 1 p.m. I had to miss last week due to a family event with my son. So, during this live stream, we talk about some of the latest technology, cybersecurity news that can affect businesses here in the great state of Nevada. I will share some sort of tip related to technology usage, and then we'll open it up for questions. So let's get started with the news. Some of you may have seen or heard in the news about a new vulnerability that's in Microsoft Office called Follina. And so this has been, depending on which news agencies you follow, you may have seen this, maybe not, right? But this is the latest 0-day vulnerability in Microsoft Office this year. There's been a few. And what happens with this particular vulnerability, and what cyber professionals are seeing in the wild, or actually happening to businesses and people, is that this vulnerability is allowing hackers to exploit Microsoft Word and run whatever code they want, essentially giving them control of the system. And what happens is these criminals are embedding HTML code in the Word document in such a way that when the document is viewed or opened or previewed, that code runs and gets these criminals a backdoor into the system. And so currently Microsoft's working on a fix for it. There's a workaround. There's some workaround repairs you can do to temporarily disable some things and kind of protect yourself. If you work with an IT vendor, I would suggest reaching out to them. If you manage it yourself and need some direction in that, please comment, let me know. I can share you some links of Microsoft's recommendations on that. But hopefully you guys are aware of it. Hopefully your IT provider's aware of it. And the important thing is to let your end users know about it as well. So it doesn't matter if management knows, and it doesn't matter if your IT knows. If your end users don't know about it and are not being wary of opening any files that potentially could be malicious and contain this code embedded in it. And so it's important to let your staff know, hey, there's this vulnerability, and this is just good cybersecurity tips in general. If you don't know where the document came from, or if anything looks strange about it, do not open it. Only open documents that you're expecting from trusted senders. And so just be wary, especially since there's this new exploit until Microsoft can patch it. Also, I'll just let you know, if you have preview enabled in Windows Explorer, that can load the malicious code as well. So it's possible to run it without even opening it if you have that preview enabled. So I would recommend disabling preview mode so you don't accidentally run something in a document that you're not intending to do. All right, moving on. Now we're on our tech topic. So we're going to talk today a little bit, and this is probably something I could talk way more than 5 minutes on, so I'll try to keep it short. We're going to talk about what's the best method for disaster for recovery, right? So one of the things that we talk about with clients and with others is you got to try to prevent as much as you can. You got to be smart and be secure and protect yourselves, but you also have to plan for the worst case scenario, right? Those that fail to plan to fail, right? So if an emergency comes up, if some sort of disaster happens and you're not prepared, boy, it's going to be much worse for you than if you had a plan in place. So first off, make sure you have a plan. Have a written document or procedure that you and your staff are familiar with. Make sure it includes things like, who do you need to notify, right? If it's a ransomware attack, do you have cyber insurance? That should be one of your first phone calls, right? Is call your cyber insurance provider, because they have resources that could help you come in and mitigate and do what you need to do in part of that recovery process. The last thing you want to do is have to scramble to find out, who am I supposed to call, when your computer's encrypted with ransomware, right? If that's not in a document or something offline where you can access it and contact and follow that plan, you're going to be, a lot more stressed. Make sure that you have system backups, right? As part of that plan, where are those backups stored? Do you know how to access them? Are they offline, offsite? Are they in a position in a place where that potential hacker can't gain access to them if they gain access to the rest of your network? The other thing is, what are the steps you need to take as you're recovering? Will your employees need to work from home? Do you have a process in place for that? How do you notify your end users that they aren't going to be able to come into the office or use whatever resources are having the issue at the time? And then you need to update your plan regularly, whether that's quarterly, annually. As things change, make sure that document changes to reflect the changes within your technology environment. And then finally, around the plan, make sure you test it. If you've got it, in a drawer in the back of your office and you've never gone through a test scenario to see, are we missing anything? Do it. Pull that document out, go through it. That's how you're going to find out if it works, if it doesn't work, where are the bumps in the road, what information is missing, what's not clear enough. And the other side of it is, if an emergency does happen, you've already gone through that exercise. You're going to be much more experienced and able to handle that in a more calm fashion than if this is the first time you're going through it. It's not going to be a fun day for you if you've never done that. All right. The other thing to consider with your disaster recovery plan is you need to consider your recovery time objective and your recovery point objective. And I could go into way more detail on these. I'm just going to give you the high level. Recovery time objective is how long can you be down, right? What's your goal on how long you can be down before it really starts hurting your business? Recovery point objective is how much data can you lose during that time? So you may say, you know what, if we've got a terabyte of data, but all we really need is this one folder that's 100 gigabytes. Maybe that's your recovery point objective. Like if we can just get access to this one folder of 100 gigabytes, then we can limp along, we can operate while we're working on the other stuff. So that's part of it. The other part is like, how long will it take you to recover that 100 gigabytes then to where you can kind of function as an organization? And you need to make sure that your disaster recovery plan matches the recovery time objective and the recovery point objective. Make sure you're backing up that data that you need. And if you can't afford to be down for more than an hour, well, you better have a backup system that backs up frequently enough and can be recovered within that hour of your recovery time objective. And so these are all things that need to be considered as you're building your disaster recovery plan, right? What are we backing up? How frequently are we backing up? And what technology are we using to back it up to ensure that we can meet those recovery objectives? And then the other thing is, there's different types of backups. There's synchronous, asynchronous, there's real time, there's scheduled, on-site, off-site. And so you need to, as you're planning that, you need to make sure, okay, are we using the right technology that's going to meet our needs for this? So that's very high level. Like I said, very high level. We could probably have an entire webinar dedicated to the best methods for disaster recovery and what to plan for in these things. In fact, we have done some webinars in the past with related topics around backup and disaster recovery. So I'm looking to see if there's any comments on here. I haven't seen any comments come up yet. If anybody has any questions, this is our point where I try to answer your questions around, it doesn't even have to be around the topics that I talked about today, any technology topic, cybersecurity. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help educate others and help them to be more cyber resilient in their business. That's what I love doing. I love talking with other business owners and other people in the community and helping to educate them and help them to understand the risks. There are some very real, very scary risks out there, and to gain the knowledge so that maybe they don't have to be so scary for you. So any questions? If not, if you're watching this after the fact, not live, post them in the comments. I'll get back to you as quick as I can, or you can direct message me. Once again, would love to hear from any of you. So any of you that have seen my previous, the last thing I do is always give a plug for our upcoming webinars. So this month's webinar is going to be June 16th, 1 p.m. Pacific time. And we're going to be talking about how to plan in your business, how to plan for scalability, specifically how you can use tech more and stress less. So don't worry, so much about all the steps and tricks and everything but implement processes and technology solutions to help make scaling your business easier, faster, and less stressful. So I'm posting in the comments links where you can go and register for that. Once again, it's going to be June 16th, 1 p.m. And we're going to be talking about, all kinds of different things and how you can use technology and business processes to help you scale your business better. If any of you have any questions, once again, feel free to direct message me. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend here now that we're heading into summer, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.